Hello and welcome to MeowMix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Jerry. Steven luckily missed this game. He is in Gatlinburg, so he will not be able to record with me. He'll probably come up with his comments on our next podcast. But let's face it, this was a crappy game. Usually I try not to cuss or anything else, so if you are listening with little ones, I warn you, I may be cussing during this game because the Panthers just shit the bed. Again, another second half fall apart. What is this? I mean, they really dominated the first half, but it only took a 15-3 lead to the halftime. Oh, 15-6 because of that late 2-minute thing that Philadelphia drove down the field to get a field goal. They just gave it them up. Matt Rule and Joe Brady, this is mostly on you. Phil Snow, I think you're going to get unscathed on this review just because, the defense played lights out first half and most of the second half. It was just the last little bit where they're tired because the offense can't get a first down or put any damn points on the board. God, man. This team was not, the Panthers team should be a better team than the Eagles. The Eagles have some playmakers and some good players. But overall, the Panthers should be better. And the coaching held this team back. Coaching and front office because they have not done anything with the O-line. It was an issue going into the offseason. They did nothing with it. And look, one player or two players go down. John Miller's out there holding everybody like it's fucking prom. God, it is awful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick off to the key plays of the game. Third quarter, we have 2nd and 12 at the Carolina 43. Sam Darnold drops back, pass deep right, intended for DJ Moore, intercepted by Darius Slade at Philadelphia 41. I believe the Panthers were up 15-6 at this point, and this is the interception. I think Philly no, they didn't take a score, but they definitely, they did. They went and scored right after this. So going to my next play, 3rd and 10, third quarter, 38 seconds left, at Philadelphia's 37. Jalen Hurts, deep left to Watkins, pushed out of bounds at Carolina 10. This led to that touchdown. It was 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, Sam Franklin got schooled. He got turned around. Watkins was wide open. Jalen Hurts hit him in stride. Great throw, great catch. I wish we could do something like that, Panthers. Oh no, Sam Darnold's going to throw bad, have Robbie Anderson have to track the ball and give time to the cornerback to recover. So we can't have nice things because we don't have them. All right, moving on. Eagles are down 13-18, 4th and 3 at Carolina 46. Charlton, punt blocked by Edwards, and it doesn't matter who recovered. It just, their ball on the 27. Our special teams have sucked all year. Why change? Seriously. Chase Blackburn, if you have a job next year on the special teams coordinator, I will be shocked and I will be really questioning what Matt Rule will be doing. They have sucked all year. They finally have a kicker that seems pretty consistent, but nothing has happened in the return game this year or last year or the year before that when you were the special teams coordinator under Ron Rivera. You're not good. Point blank, he's not making anything happen on special teams ever. Hasn't yet. And this is another thing. That led to the touchdown that put Eagles up 21-18. So, I'm so frustrated with this game. And my last key play of the game, 1st and 20, Carolina 35, Eagles up 21-18, 2 minutes and 3 seconds, shotgun, Sam Darnold, pass short left, intended for Robbie Anderson, intercepted by Nelson. That put a bow on it pretty much. Just, Sam Darnold, you have regressed mightily in the first 4 weeks. Your first 3 games were pretty good, and then the past 2, you look like you belong in a Jets uniform again. And honestly, I don't know how to move on from you. It's you and Joe Brady Because Joe Brady did this with Teddy Bridgewater too. He looked good for the first couple games, and then all of a sudden, you can't make the deep pass when a player's wide open. That's happened multiple times last week and now this week too. You're making dumb mistakes. I think all 3 of these interceptions were poorly thrown balls and or bad decisions by you. Just, I don't know. I don't know. You're forcing the ball to Robbie Anderson some reason, even though DJ Moore seems to be more adequate at getting open. And Robbie Anderson's dropping the balls when they hit him in the hands for first downs. Got that money and decided to get stone hands. Overall, this game should have been a lopsided victory for the Panthers. But again, second half, they just fell apart. Fell apart and came out lackadaisical, like they didn't care, like they didn't want this game. And the Eagles came out and won it. They came out, they started making the plays. They tried to give it back. Dante Jackson tried to steal it from them with a forced fumble when they were driving in the third quarter. That fumble stopped them from scoring a field goal. So I was like, all right, finally. But no. We just kept giving it right back. Good job, Sam. I think you're throwing better to the other team than Panthers players again. I'm so frustrated right now at this team and this coaching staff. Yes, I knew the O-line was bad, and it looks bad. John Miller, you should have been pulled. It is time to see what Deontay Brown has out there, because you look bad. You were holding all the time. You just got schooled. Dennis Daly, you didn't do better. You got schooled by Hargraves multiple times. It's something needs to change on this O-line. Something needs to change with Joe Brady, because the team has some talent, but they're hard-headed and refuse to try somebody else out there. Brady Christensen didn't look great, but he didn't look horrible at right tackle. Taylor Moton had a couple false starts, which out of character. I mean, I'm trying to find the penalties here, but it was just bad. Overall, just bad. I can't find how many penalties we had. And the Eagles had multiple penalties. They tried to give us the game. They just decided that they wanted to win at the end, and they took it from us. They won it. Panthers lost it. Eagles won it. Point blank. Nothing else. I'm just so frustrated, and it's hard venting without Steven here. So if it's a little off kilter, that's why. I'm going to go ahead and quickly look at some stats here. Jalen Hurts, 22 for 37, 198 yards, 1 interception by Dante Jackson. And in the first half, the Panthers did a great job keeping him under wraps. They rushed him to hurry the throws, but they didn't over-pursue. They didn't get any sacks in the first half, which is fine. They were doing exactly good. They're making him do the quick checkdowns and forcing pass breakups. Great job. That was awesome. And then in the second half, they continued to try that, but eventually, he hit a 50-yarder. This defense can't do everything. And they almost did. They almost got a, touchdown themselves, except it went out of the back of the end zone and got a safety. Miles Sanders had 11 carries, 45 yards. Sam Darnold, 21 of 37. 177 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Tommy Tremble, yeah, that was a nice pass. He was wide open. 37 throws. You led this game, right? You led this game up until the fourth quarter, correct, Carolina? You did. Okay, then why are we having Sam Darnold throw the ball 37 times? He looked awful out there. He was throwing bad passes. It wasn't, working, but yet you kept going. Meanwhile, Chuba Hubbard had 24 carries, 101 yards. He was getting good runs, and on important downs, you throw out Royce Freeman. Joe Brady, if you are in a mix for a head coaching job, you should not get it. Look at the game tape. You should not get it. You can't design a great game plan because you had everything set up for you in the second half, and you squandered it. You absolutely squandered it. Again, Chuba Hubbard, 24 carries, 101 yards. He looks solid out there. Not the greatest, but I mean, you're not going to get CMC production, just point blank. Sam Darnold had 2 rushes for 10 yards, long of a 5. Royce Freeman had 3 carries, 2 yards, and DJ Moore had 1 for -4 yards. Philadelphia, I said Miles Sanders. Jalen Hurts had 9 carries. That kind of surprised me. It didn't seem like he was running that much until the second half. Only picked up 30 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns off it. So he got in the end zone. That's what it counts. Gainwell, 2 carries, 16 yards. Nothing much there. Receiving wise, Devontae Smith, he was their leading receiver, 7 receptions, 77 yards, 8 targets. I mean, they just kept him, and most of their receiving is under wrap except for that one big play. Q Watkins, 3 receptions, 48 yards with a long of 53. Again, they kept him under wraps. He had 2 receptions for -5 yards except for that 53-yarder. Just, that was a knife. It broke the spirits. It did everything. This team needs to learn how to get off the mat. They can't do it. Goddard had 2 receptions, 28 yards. Rager had 3 receptions, 24 yards. And then Gainwell, 1 reception, 8 yards. Zach Ertz, 1 reception, 7 yards. And Miles Sanders tried to even help us out by running out of bounds. 5 receptions, 6 yards. It just... DJ Moore, 5 receptions, 42 yards, on only 7 targets. It seems weird that they're forcing the ball to Robbie Anderson after that big payday, and he hasn't really gotten started this year because he's not doing it. He's missing the ball. An important 3rd down, he dropped the ball. Ian Thomas, 4 receptions, 40 yards. He had a decent game. Chuba Hubbard, 5 receptions, 33 games on 6 targets. That 1 target was a drop pass. Robbie Anderson, like I said, 2 for 30 on 7 targets. I don't know why they're trying to force Robbie Anderson the ball so much. It's not working. 2 games, they tried to force it to him. It's just not working. Time to go back there. Terrace Marshall, 2 for 14, 3 targets. The other target was he was wide open for a 1st down on a 3rd down, and Sam Darnold just sailed it on him. Tommy Tremble, I was hoping to see a little bit more. 2 receptions, 12 yards, 1 touchdown. 4 targets. I'm shocked that they're still using Ian Thomas more than they are at Tommy Tremble. And then we have Royce Freeman, 1 for 6. So I don't know anymore. Again, I don't know what Joe Brady's thinking with his offense. You have the lead. You're running the ball well against a team that has really struggled against the run. And you have Sam Darnold throwing interceptions left and right, and you continue to throw the ball. And Sam Darnold has a 2-minute, 2-minute drive he could do. Gives it away right away. Just so bad. So bad. Real quickly on defense, Hassan Reddick, 8 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. He had a good game. Dante Jackson, 6 tackles, no tackles for loss or sacks, but he had an interception and that forced fumble. That was key. AJ Boya looked pretty good out there in the first half. He kind of went quiet in the second, had 4 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Chandler, 4 tackles. Chin, another pretty quiet game, 4 tackles. It's, in my opinion, it's time to move Chin down in the box. There's no question. He's not making the big plays at safety. He's good at safety for the most part. All the big plays are not happening because of him, but he was a wrecking ball. He was a force down in the box last year, and this year you're kind of silencing a big playmaker on defense by making him play back so much. It's time to move him down, make him play more of that linebacker hybrid role instead of just strictly safety. Keith Taylor, they kind of picked on, 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Henderson, not a really great game either. Saw him get picked on. And I say picked on, I mean, again, they allowed over less than 200 yards passing. So, Brian Burns, another quiet game. 1 tackle for loss, 2 tackles overall. Kind of was hoping to see a little bit more from him. I'm not going to go through the rest of these guys. I'm just frustrated, guys. I know it needs to get better, but I don't know where they're going to get better unless the coaching and offensive line play just overall get better. It's just so frustrating. All right. My final thoughts is I am just so frustrated. Quick thing, our beer bets brought to you by CBDX.com is not your average CBD company. We've all tried CBD. None of it's like the real deal. My CBD hopefully is in the mailbox, and I'm going to run and grab it because I need to calm down after this game. If you listen to the podcast, you use promo code MeowMix, or Meow, sorry, you'll get 20% off and a free gift with your first order. So go to CBDX.com, enter Meow for the 20% off and free gift. And don't use CBDX products before driving, operating heavy machinery, or getting tested. CBDX.com, enter promo code Meow. Maybe Joe Brady is taking that because this sucked. All right. So my prediction was Panthers, and they didn't win, so that's all. Steven also picked the Panthers to win, and so we both lost there. But I did win our beer bet, 125 yards. I said lower. I thought we would actually go over, but due to some bad play calling, we went under with 109 yards. 101 yards by Chuba Hubbard, and they did not want to keep him feeding him the ball. Heroes and zeros time. Try to make this sweet and simple. Hero, I'm going to give it to Dante Jackson because he caused 2 turnovers in the third quarter, and who knows, this score could be worse because they were driving on that first one where he punched that ball out. So, good job. He did have that pass interference, but if you're beat, it's better to interrupt the pass instead of giving up the touchdown. Another one, I'm going to give Chuba Hubbard. I thought Chuba did a really good job today. I think you're not going to replicate CMC. That's fine. And I think due to some bad play calling, he probably could have had a little bit more, but they wanted to give Royce Freeman more carries for some reason, especially on important downs. Zeros. We're going to have a few on this one for me. Going to start it off, Sam Darnold. You've regressed really, really bad. You threw 3 bad interceptions. You had a chance with 2 minutes, and you threw the ball right to the opposing play, forcing the ball to Robbie Anderson. Only threw for 177 yards. And you just look bad. You look like you belonged in a Jets uniform today. Point blank. With that said, you did not get help from your offensive line. John Miller, Dennis Daly, Matt Paradis, you all get zeros too. I'm not going to knock too much on Christensen and Taylor Moton as they are both kind of playing out of position and kind of thrown out there. I think they did all right for that. I can't wait to see how many pass rushes they gave up due to that. But I'll give it to the interior linemen because they sucked. And honorable mention, Joe Brady. Play calling. Learn how to do it better because you're not doing it well here. All right. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show. Now, we will be back, I believe it will be Tuesday or Wednesday on YouTube or Wednesday morning on podcast. We will do our quarter-ish of the season rewards and awards. We wanted to play after Dallas because that Dallas game left us a bad taste in our mouth. We wanted it, this palate cleanser. Well, yeah, it's not going to be cleansed. So, until then, stay safe and keep pounding.